Now, it's going to be a little difficult to show because I'm underneath the RV now and it's really close. This is the trim from below. As I go forward, you can see there are, it looks like it's been redone at least once. There are former spots that had a screw in it and somebody moved it, and it looks like they've redone this once before. I bought this vehicle used. There's a former screw spot and the former screw set, and they moved it. Looks like it's going at an angle to try and catch something to pull this thing back up with. So going forward to the area that's messed up, I mean, you can see here's my failed attempt to add a couple more screws and pull this up with a bunch of more adhesive that I'm going to have to clean off now. And the problem is also that the area above this trim that was at least initially used for something to fasten into in a few key spots has pretty well rotted away. So I'm going to have to see if I can substitute something in there or come up with another scheme to hold this trim up and then just seal it up effectively so I won't get further water damage. Chris for the HandyGuard channel, April 10th, 2014. I don't know if this will be a video I'll upload, but since it's something I have to do anyway, I thought I'd give it a shot, and if the content seems like something someone else might be able to profit from, I'll put it together and upload it. I have a leak on the front and forward lower corner of my RV that I tried to repair, and unsuccessfully it's come back out again, so I'm going to take a look at it. I'll show you what I've been working at, what I have to deal with, and why it's problematic, and what my solution for it's going to be. So here's what it looks like. Okay, this is the front forward corner of my RV. It's a 26-foot trail light, trail cruiser by Trail Light. And the problem is this trim piece that runs, if not the full length, then to wherever that trim breaks, but it might be a continuous piece that was, looks like it was held on by adhesive. There may be some fasteners up through. The problem is that this area here has been water damaged over time, probably from a leak higher up that's come down through the RV and pooled in this lower front corner until it deteriorated, rotted away, and I jacked it up with adhesives and tried to screw into whatever was there before I left my last destination. It has since come back down loose, and there's a bit of a bend that occurred when I tried to pull this down to clean it out before. So I'm going to have to pull it down and probably clean all this out, get rid of that bend, tweak that back up a little bit so it's as straight as possible. And if there's nothing solid in here, I imagine I'll have to probably insert something inside for a screwing medium or something that I can draw this up with and add more waterproofing and caulking and adhesive. So that's what we're going to do with this project. Okay, well, I've removed most of the screws, all of the screws, back to a point where I really don't want to go any further because there's little evidence of water damage back there. So I don't want to take off any more than I have to get this down to effect a repair. But the problem is pretty easy to see here in that it's deteriorated, a lot of water damage, and there's nothing real solid. I did not take a video of all the cleanup that I just did. It was a lot of kind of boring, scraping, and just trying to take off as much of the old adhesives as possible, clean it off so I've got a clean surface to dry, clean and dry to glue to. And it appears that in the initial installation, this trim piece utilized a putty for a water seal, and then the screw fasteners through these holes is the only thing that held it up. What I've decided to do is going to be kind of a two-step operation, since it's a little unorthodox in that I'm limited tool-wise and expertise-wise. So I'm going to do what I think will work. And I've just dry fitted this piece of scrap lumber underneath the area that is got some rot in it. So let me take it back down using the jack out of my truck. I'm going to use this piece of lumber just as a support, because what I think I'm going to do, since it's so rotted away up in here where there's nothing behind it, it starts to get a little more solid as you go away from the corner, but up here there's pretty much nothing. And it's not structural, there's nothing attached to it except this trim up here, which I've already had to repair previously. And it's okay. So I'm going to use expanding household foam, and I'm going to shoot this whole area up in here full of it. I'm going to get a good amount of it in there, and then put this piece of lumber back up underneath it and use the jack to snug it up so it'll stay flat and prevent it from overexpansion. And anything that oozes past the board is fine. I'll trim it off. I'll let it come out the end and trim it off. And once that has gone off and set up, probably be tomorrow morning by then, I'll come back and do a similar process where it's rotted away, although the material here is thinner and it's a little more solid. I'm going to clean all that loose junk out, put the expanding foam above it, silicone the strip here, lay a really big thick bead of white silicone or acrylic caulk. I think I have water-based acrylic that's indoor-outdoor. Use screw fasteners to hold it in place, and then again use a temporary piece of lumber up underneath to press up against it to keep it from overexpanding when the foam goes off, and just trim off anything that squeezes out. So I think that'll work pretty good, but it's going to take kind of a two-step approach. So let's do the first step. I need about 4 hands to do this. Or 5 hands would be good. And of course, gravity definitely does not work for you in your favor. No doubt that's really going to overexpand, which is fine as long as it is contained. I don't mind. I'll cut it off, whatever squeezes out, but I really need to fill the void that's been created by the rot. So whatever blows up there will be just fine. I'll take care of it afterward. I think that may work for part one. I think we'll quit there. Now that the expanding foam has gone off and completely set up, which is pretty solid, expanded out, I'm going to cut this off, clean that up, get the board out. It's slightly stuck, which I thought might happen. So I'll get that loose and get that out, clean up under it, and we'll see how well that did to seal up and fill the area in the front, and then we'll go at this side area, get that sealed up. Okay, we've removed the board that was holding everything from over expansion up under here, and it's pretty solid now, whereas it was a big void before. So that is going to be fine. It's all out of sight, so I'm not even going to clean that up anymore. It's fine. And we'll come out here and do a lot of the same. If I can get any more of that foam to come out of the dispenser, I'll probably shoot a little bit of it back in here, and then use this with some caulking in the actual trim itself, and screw it up. Use screw fasteners to pull it up into place, and then I'll take a flat board again and jack it up underneath to hold everything while the expanding foam goes off, so it doesn't bulge down. And that should do it. Whoops.
Yeah, things like this are always messy. But if you can afford to let it squeeze out and clean up, sometimes that's the best way to get a seal. Okay, now I'll let that go off. The board is holding everything from over expansion, so when the foam goes off, it'll be contained within there, and if it goes up inside a little bit, I'll just cut that away and clean it up after it has cured. And I'll go along and seal each one of these screw heads with some more caulking. One small last little bead up along the top to waterproof it. It's not my prettiest work, but I think it's going to do the trick and prevent any further water damage. Trying out somebody's cute little invention here. Something to preserve your caulking. A little plastic thing you can buy at the big box stores or the hardware store. It's supposed to fit on your gun when you're not in use, but it doesn't fit very well. In any case, we're going to see if it'll preserve the caulk. Seals it up, plugs the end. Another great American invention, outsourced to China. Yeah, maybe we'll start making our own stuff pretty soon. So there you go. We'll see what happens after it cures, and I'll come back and clean it up after it's had time to go off. Well, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I would say the repair is, I'm going to put a little more caulk right up under there and seal that up. Add another little bead of caulk just to waterproof it a little more, but it came out real solid compared to what it was because of all the water damage, and it's really solid out here on the trim. So that worked out pretty well. I'm happy with it, given that it was a difficult repair to be sure, with so much of it having been water damaged. So there you have it. That's my repair of the trim and the water damage on the front corner of my RV, as I get ready to head up towards parts unknown yet, and that way I'll be sealed up and more watertight. So if you liked the video, if it was helpful for you at all, please take the time to give me a thumbs up and leave a comment below if you'd like for a critique or if it was helpful for you, and subscribe to my channel. I hope it was of a benefit, and if you'd like to see some more, I'll be uploading more videos of repair on the RV and my travels. Thanks for watching.